Hi guys, welcome to the Finesse channel. This time, we've prepared a fresh cull of the top 12 thriller movies you can stream right now in July 2025 on Prime Video, Max, and Hulu. Not only well-known titles, but also some hidden gems are gathered in this selection so that everyone can discover something exciting and new to watch. We hope this list will be helpful, so let's not waste any time and begin. Asphalt City, directed by Jean-Stéphane Sauveur, is a raw and unflinching urban thriller that explores the psychological toll of life on the front lines of emergency medicine. The story follows Ollie Cross, a young EMT just entering the brutal world of night shifts and non-stop 911 calls. Paired with hardened veteran Gene Rutkowski, Ollie is quickly exposed to the harsh reality of saving lives in a city that seems beyond redemption. As the calls grow more disturbing and the emotional weight begins to pile up, Ollie must navigate the fine line between compassion and emotional numbness, while Rut's worn-out philosophy offers both guidance and danger. Ty Sheridan delivers a restrained, haunted performance that captures the inner erosion of someone witnessing too much, too fast. Sean Penn, as the weary and cynical Rut, brings gravitas and raw authenticity to every scene, grounding the film in hard-earned experience. Together, their dynamic becomes the emotional heart of the story. Mentor and mentee, both unraveling in their own ways. This is not a film about saving lives, it's about what it costs to try. With echoes of Bringing Out the Dead, this is a slow-burning descent into the heart of urban despair. Unnerving, powerful, and impossible to ignore. Riffraff, directed by Dito Montiel, is a darkly comedic crime drama that collides family dysfunction with underworld chaos in a snowy New England cabin. The story unfolds around Vincent, a reformed ex-con trying to reconnect with his estranged teenage stepson during the holidays. But the quiet retreat unravels fast when his older son Rocco, along with his pregnant girlfriend and unpredictable ex-wife, shows up uninvited, trailing mobsters with unfinished business. As flashbacks reveal old wounds and buried secrets, the cabin becomes a pressure cooker of resentment, betrayal, and escalating threats. Ed Harris brings stoic gravity to Vincent, anchoring the film with quiet regret and hardened wisdom. Lewis Pullman adds volatility as the emotionally bruised Rocco, while Jennifer Coolidge steals scenes as Ruth, blending sharp comedy with chaotic energy. Bill Murray and Pete Davidson as oddball enforcers deliver eccentric menace with a wink, elevating the film's offbeat tone. For fans of dysfunctional crime tales with a sharp, ironic edge, Riffraff offers a twisted holiday gathering you won't forget. A Mistake. A Mistake, directed by Christine Jeffs, is a gripping and emotionally charged medical thriller that delves into the complexities of human error, professional ethics, and personal accountability. The film centers on Elizabeth Taylor, a seasoned surgeon at a New Zealand hospital whose decision to allow a young colleague to lead a delicate procedure results in a devastating surgical mistake. As the consequences unfold, Elizabeth faces intense scrutiny and must navigate the fraught terrain of guilt, institutional pressure, and the search for redemption. Elizabeth Banks delivers a nuanced and powerful performance, capturing the quiet turmoil and resilience of a woman confronting both public judgment and internal conflict. She is supported by a strong ensemble cast, including Simon McBurney and Mickey Sumner, who enrich the story with their authentic portrayals of the medical community's varied perspectives. Tense and thought-provoking, A Mistake avoids sensationalism, instead offering a deeply human exploration of fallibility and forgiveness. Fans of character-driven dramas and ethical dilemmas will find it compelling and resonant. Red Dawn, directed by Dan Bradley, is a high-octane and intense action thriller that reimagines a classic invasion story with modern stakes and youthful grit. The film centers on a group of American teenagers in Spokane, Washington, led by Marine veteran Jed Eckert, who band together as the Wolverines to wage a guerrilla war against a sudden and brutal North Korean invasion. As their town falls under occupation, the teens are forced to confront the harsh realities of survival, loyalty, and sacrifice. Chris Hemsworth anchors the film with rugged charisma and commanding presence, delivering a performance that balances leadership and vulnerability. He's supported by a determined ensemble cast including Josh Peck, Josh Hutcherson, and Adrienne Palicki, each bringing urgency and heart to the Resistance's fight. It's a fast-paced, adrenaline-fueled story that will appeal to fans of patriotic action dramas and coming-of-age war tales. The Oak Room. The Oak Room, directed by Cody Callahan, is a tense and atmospheric thriller that fuses character-driven drama with a layered narrative structure and slow-burning suspense. The film centers on Steve, a drifter who returns to a remote bar during a fierce snowstorm to settle an old debt with the wary bartender Paul. To pay his dues, Steve spins a series of interconnected stories, each unraveling dark secrets, mistaken identities, and shifting loyalties, creating a narrative puzzle that tests the boundaries between truth and fiction. R.J. Mitte anchors the film with a nuanced performance that conveys a man weighed down by his past, while Peter Outerbridge delivers a grounded and brooding portrayal of the skeptical bartender. They are supported by a strong ensemble cast, including Ari Millen and Martin Roach, who add depth and tension to the unfolding drama. Fans of cerebral thrillers and intricate character studies will find it quietly compelling and richly rewarding. Time Crimes. Time Crimes, directed by Nacho Vigalondo, is a cerebral and tightly woven sci-fi thriller that fuses psychological suspense with a mind-bending time loop narrative. The film centers on Hector, a man who inadvertently travels back in time by an hour after encountering a mysterious woman in the woods. This accidental leap triggers a complex chain of events where Hector must confront multiple versions of himself, navigating escalating confusion and moral dilemmas that challenge notions of identity and fate. Cara Elwhalde anchors the film with a subtle performance that balances mounting tension and vulnerability, capturing the paranoia and desperation of a man trapped in his own timeline. He's supported by a lean cast that enhances the claustrophobic and unsettling atmosphere. Visually minimalist, yet thematically rich, Time Crimes avoids flashy effects, instead thriving on clever storytelling, suspenseful pacing, and intricate character interactions. Fans of smart, tightly plotted sci-fi thrillers will find it quietly gripping and unmistakably Nacho Vigalondo. Number 6. The Equalizer 3. The Equalizer 3, directed by Antoine Fuqua, is a moody and methodical action thriller that blends brutal justice with quiet introspection, wrapped in the sun-drenched melancholy of southern Italy. The film centers on Robert McCall, a former government assassin seeking peace in a coastal Italian village after years of violent retribution. But when the local mafia threatens his new community, McCall is pulled back into action, delivering calculated vengeance with the same cold precision that once defined his past. Denzel Washington delivers a restrained, emotionally layered performance, portraying McCall as both haunted and human. His scenes carry a quiet intensity, where every word and every silence feels deliberate. He's joined by Dakota Fanning, who adds freshness as a sharp CIA agent, and Eugenio Mastrandrea, who brings heart to the film's local color. Visually elegant and thematically grounded, The Equalizer 3 trades non-stop action for atmosphere, reflection, and slow-building dread. Number 5. Presence, directed by Steven Soderbergh, is a minimalist and haunting supernatural thriller that reimagines the ghost story through an eerie first-person lens. The film centers on a grieving family who moves into a quiet suburban home, unaware that an invisible presence already resides there. What makes Presence unique is that the story is told entirely from the ghost's point of view. As the spirit observes the family, particularly teenage daughter Chloe, It becomes entangled in their unspoken sorrow, emotional distance, and personal struggles, all while gradually revealing the entity's own mysterious past. Kalina Leon leads the cast with a quietly affecting performance as Chloe, a teen grappling with recent loss and emotional disconnection. Lucy Liu brings complexity as the mother, driven yet emotionally absent, while Chris Sullivan provides a grounded presence as the well-meaning father. Stylistically spare and psychologically rich, Presence avoids typical horror tropes in favor of slow-building unease. Long takes, subtle movements, and ambient sound design generate a chilling intimacy. Number 4. If These Walls Could Talk. If These Walls Could Talk, directed by Nancy Savoca and Cher, is a socially resonant and emotionally layered anthology drama that fuses intimate character studies with urgent political commentary. The story unfolds in 3 chapters, set in 1952, 1974, and 1996, all centered around different women who live in the same home while facing the deeply personal and politically charged issue of unplanned pregnancy. Though separated by time, their experiences echo one another in fear, resilience, and moral complexity, tracing the evolution of reproductive rights across 4 decades. Demi Moore, Sissy Spacek, and Cher each lead their respective segments with remarkable nuance. Moore brings restrained sorrow to a woman trapped by 1950s conservatism. Spacek conveys quiet strength as a mother confronting feminist awakening, and Cher delivers authority and compassion as a doctor in the face of violence and stigma. For those drawn to issue-driven dramas with heart and historical perspective, this film remains hauntingly relevant and undeniably brave. Number 3. The Amateur. The Amateur, directed by James Hawes, is a cerebral and emotionally charged spy thriller that fuses personal grief with covert intelligence, offering a fresh take on vengeance in the world of espionage. The film follows Charlie Heller, a quiet CIA cryptographer whose world collapses after his wife is killed in a terrorist bombing in London. When the agency refuses to act on intel that could prevent future attacks, Charlie takes matters into his own hands, blackmailing his superiors into training him for fieldwork. What begins as a mission of revenge evolves into a deeper confrontation with systemic corruption and personal limits. Rami Malek leads with a tightly coiled performance that blends intellectual resolve with emotional vulnerability. As Charlie transforms from analyst to operative, Malek conveys the inner turmoil of a man driven by love, loss, and moral uncertainty. He's supported by a sharp cast, including Lawrence Fishburne as a grizzled CIA mentor, Rachel Brosnahan as a conflicted handler, and Catriona Balfe as a key operative with her own hidden motives. It's a thriller built not on action spectacle, but on quiet dread, encoded secrets, and the haunting question of how far one man will go when justice fails him. Smart, suspenseful, and hauntingly human, it's a slow-boil espionage tale for the thinking viewer. Number 2. Speed. Speed, directed by John DeBont, is a high-octane action thriller that fuses relentless tension with sleek 1990s style and pure adrenaline storytelling. The film centers on LAPD officer Jack Traven, who must prevent a city bus from exploding after a mad bomber rigs it with a deadly device. If the vehicle drops below 50 miles per hour, it detonates. As chaos erupts across Los Angeles, Jack teams up with passenger Annie, Sandra Bullock, who is thrust into the driver's seat. What follows is a non-stop, high-stakes race against time, across freeways, traffic, and impossible odds. Keanu Reeves brings stoic charisma and physical precision to the role of Jack, while Sandra Bullock delivers warmth and humor that perfectly balances the tension. Dennis Hopper plays the villain with gleeful menace, and his performance adds unpredictability to the film's already volatile atmosphere. Paced with surgical precision and packed with practical effects, Speed never loses momentum. It's a masterclass in sustained suspense using tight editing, pulsing music, and escalating stakes to keep viewers on edge. Number 1. The Lobster. The Lobster, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, is a cerebral and offbeat dystopian satire that fuses existential despair with deadpan humor and surreal absurdity. The film centers on David, a soft-spoken man recently abandoned by his wife, who is sent to a secluded hotel where single people must find a romantic partner within 45 days, or be transformed into the animal of their choice. As David navigates the hotel's bizarre rituals and oppressive rules, he eventually flees into the woods, where a rebel faction enforces a different but equally rigid code: total emotional detachment. Colin Farrell anchors the film with a brilliantly restrained performance, portraying David's quiet desperation and awkward hopefulness with both tragic sincerity and dry wit. Rachel Weisz offers a moving counterpoint as a fellow fugitive, while Olivia Colman, John C. Reilly, and Léa Seydoux round out a sharp supporting cast that brings humor and menace in equal measure. Visually sterile and thematically unsettling, The Lobster doesn't rely on conventional drama or romance. It's a slow-burning thought experiment built on rigid world-building, philosophical provocation, and uncomfortable truths. Fans of darkly comic, idea-driven cinema will find it bleakly fascinating and unmistakably Yorgos Lanthimos.